What's up, man? Good morning.
Oh, good morning. Early for you?
The sun isn't even fucking up yet. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna do my cheesy ass intro now.
All right.
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm here with Nuzz, and we're gonna try something a little different today. RuneScape's guilds are a classic piece of content that, like many things, aren't utilized much anymore. Nuzz and I are going to go through them all and discuss some small-scale fixes and quality of life improvements to the various guilds that can bring them back to life. I, for the most part, want to avoid things that would fall out of the scope of a Ninja Strike or something similar, so no full-blown reworks, brand new guilds, stuff like that. Something Jagex could reasonably do without adding too much to their current workload. I've got an alphabetical list of guilds here, and we're going to just go through them quickly and cover what they already have and discuss what we would like to see added to them to make them better. And with all that out of the way, Nuz, would you like to introduce yourself? I've been talking a lot.
Hello, I'm Nuzz. You might know me. Make some videos on YouTube, and yeah, I think this should be an interesting topic to go over.
Yeah, so, small time YouTuber, totally not nominated for a golden gnome or anything.
No,
He's
no,
just,
no.
is relatively new, made a couple videos here
I'm
and there.
making a name for myself right now.
Good luck on that, by the way. I've got full confidence in you.
I don't have confidence in myself, but thank you.
Aw, you'll do fine. You'll do fine. Okay, so I've got these in alphabetical order, and I'm just gonna fire away. I'm gonna open up with the Archaeology Guild.
Okay.
Personally, I think this guild is actually 120% fine. I think it's like the prime example of what a guild should be in the game.
Yeah, I was about to say the same. Like, I feel like it's pretty good. Like I'm not sure what to add, what you would add to that really.
Yeah, you go there for getting around the map, doing archaeology related things. It's just you always see people there. It's high traffic. It does what it's supposed to.
Yeah.
It's important, and I think that's about it. I don't think there's really anything you can
Yeah, no,
add to that.
I don't think there's much other than adding like skilling in it, but I don't see why you'd do that really.
Yeah, unless the give the archaeology guild its own dig site. But I guess that's what
Yeah.
that's what Sentistan is already. I guess.
Yeah, so I guess yeah, probably nothing, honestly.
Yeah. So we'll just jump over that one. But so the next one up is the Champions Guild, and so
Hmm.
what it has currently is chickens, a stove, rune armor, green d'hide, and mystic, and the champions challenges.
Hmm.
I'm gonna let you go ahead. Do you want to start? Do you want to open with this, or should I open with this one?
I'll just say what popped in my head, like since it's kind of like I guess it's like a lower level, like could be sort of like a lower level PVM hub, kind of maybe like bonfires or like for
Yeah, I
like
kind of like
I
that.
don't but I don't know if the PVM hub's already super easy to get in. Maybe it wouldn't.
Yeah, I think can free to play get to the PVM hub? I think they can, right?
I think they might have changed that so you can.
Because I don't. I mean,
Uh,
like it's definitely accessible from free to play because it's in Draenor. I just don't know if they're locked out of it. I
I
don't.
mean 60 combat
60 combat.
or have 1,000 total.
That's probably just to
It
keep
is
bots out.
accessible for free to play players
Hmm.
too.
Well, then there's that. Well,
Hmm,
okay.
yeah.
So I'll go ahead. I'll go ahead and drop what I think they should do, and you'll see. Maybe that might give you some more ideas. But
Okay.
it'd be great if they gave it a bank, just a bank, um,
Yep.
and allow it, give it a portal that allows you to teleport to any other free to play guild from the Champions Guild,
Mm,
just for mobility's sake, right?
yeah.
Um, or like some one other thing is that they could take. So May's quest caravan is literally right there, right next
Yeah.
to it. Incorporate it into the guild, make it accessible. So like, make it part of the guild, but you don't necessarily need the guild requirements to get into the quest caravan. Or maybe you
Yep.
do. I don't know. I mean, the difference is like, what's the requirements to get into the Champions Guild? It's like 32 quest points or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Drop it to 25. Drop it to 25. um, so that your first like quest caravan reward comes in at 25 points, and you can get into the guild at the same time. Maybe
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's probably the hardest skill to figure out because it's just so like it would
There,
never. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
I'd say those are probably the best things, honestly, because you can't really like overhaul it to be amazing, really.
right. I mean, I'd like to see the champions D&D improved, I guess, but I don't really know. I don't think
If
they would
they'll
ever
do it
touch
because
it.
it's so yeah, because it's so
Yeah.
like old.
And the only thing I can think of is add new champions, I guess. Might piss off
Yeah,
some people trying to go for that completionist cape, but
yeah,
whatever.
true.
What's a few thousand Ripper demons between friends, right?
Oh, oh god,
Give it a Ripper
not
demon
good.
champion.
That
Oh
is
man.
not good.
Okay, so we'll move on to a more classic guild. Everybody knows it. We all love it. It's the Cooks Guild. So what it has currently is a bank that, if you have Varrock Elite tasks done, you can use it. Stoves, a pie shop, sinks, and cooking spawns all over the place. Do you want to open with this one?
Uh you open with this one.
All right. So what I think is that first off, they should remove the requirement to be wearing either the cooking cape or the chef's hat to get in.
Hmm.
It's unnecessary, and none of the other guilds do this. As far as I'm aware, none of the other guilds do this where you have to be wearing something. You just have to meet the level requirement. Obviously, it's a holdover from early RuneScape, and it thematically makes sense. You're not a chef if you're not wearing a hat, but just remove that. It's unnecessary now. I would also say remove the task requirement to get to the bank because you have other guilds that just hand you a bank. But I think this is also kind of another holdover because Jagex has been a lot more liberal with banks nowadays. They kind of just throw them everywhere. When before it was like banks were just like a rare resource. You had to really be thoughtful about like, okay,
Yeah.
where the nearest bank is. Now it's just any new piece of content, just bam, there's a bank. So remove the requirement to get to this bank. And the one thing, and I'm actually going to be bringing this a lot. I'm going to be bringing this up a lot because I think it's probably a pretty consistent way to buff guilds is to take the portable range passive, or the portable range effect, and cut it in half and make that effect a passive throughout the entire guild. So like it gives up to 10% more experience, 2.5% chance to double food, and it stacks with portables. So you go to the guild and you have like half of a portable cooking range effect on you just being in the guild. But if you decide to drop a portable range in there, you're now at like 1.5 of a portable range, which I guess would also stack with Brooch of the Gods, which needs a buff anyway, and this would be like a way to pseudo buff it. Because I think personally, the Brooch should work on the passive effects for the guilds.
Yeah, I was gonna say like the portables you could just put like rather than you I mean the passive works too. You can just make it so there's like an I there
Like a
you could
static permanent one
yeah,
in
yeah.
there. Yeah,
I
I
mean
thought
people
about
might get
that.
mad about that, but
That's kind of why I went with a passive because it was like I was thinking if there's a permanent portable range in the cooking guild, no one's going to use the rest of them. No one's going to buy them. No one's going to care about them. Like the only people that would use them is for convenience of like, oh, I just don't want to be in the cooking guild, or for people who don't have the cooking requirement. I guess
yeah.
in the 5 minutes it would take them to get that cooking level on a portable range.
But at
But
the same time, if you give that passive buff to the guild, I'm sure everybody that trains cooking is gonna put their portables in the guild anyway.
that's kind of the that's kind of the goal. Like I
True.
guess it was just is to draw people into the guild, and it gives an incentive to train the skill because it's like, okay, yeah, I can do this out here with my own portables or just on a normal stove, but I really want to get into the guild because that's where the experience is at, you know.
Yeah.
And it gives. I know Brooch of the Gods is very, very limited use for Iron Men, especially because half of its effect just doesn't work on them. And I feel like this kind of remedies that because I feel like the half strength buff should work on Iron Men, and it should stack with the brooch. So if there's no guild, if there's no range in there, right? Let's just say you're on an empty world and you just go into the guild, you're wearing the brooch, it should, and you start cooking on the normal stove that's in there, it should feel like a portable range because it's the half buff doubled by the
Yeah.
brooch, if that makes sense. So that means if you're in there with the half buff on a portable range and you have the brooch, I guess it's tripled at that point, which
Mhm.
might be busted. Maybe put a cap on it. Uh, but I mean, honestly, it's a brooch of the gods. It's an alchemical hydrix. I feel like it being triple the effect of a standard portable isn't that busted, considering how top tier that piece of jewelry is and how very limited use it is currently, even for normal players. So I don't know. I'd
Yeah,
leave that one up
I
to
feel.
Jagex, I suppose.
Yeah, I feel like that's a good thing for like all the guilds, though. Like
Yes,
the possibly something with like the portables or buffs.
and that's going to be a recurring theme. Just about any any guild that has like a portable that can apply to it, I went ahead and said put that portable effect at half strength in the guild. Um,
Yeah,
and of course, make portables placeable in these guilds if they aren't already. It'd be ridiculous if they weren't. But
yeah.
um, so was there anything you want to add to that? I know like you briefly mentioned like well just putting a static
No,
portable
I
on.
was thinking the portable as well. That was like my main thought for that one, since it has like a bank and everything.
Yeah. I know I would definitely like if I decided okay, I'm going for 120 cooking, I'd probably do it all in the cook's guild at that point
Yeah,
because there's a bank right there, all the cook stove 2 squares away from the bank, 1 square maybe. Being able to place portables in there plus the passive effect. I'd
yeah,
be very happy I have my Bruise of the Gods right now.
yeah, yeah. I agree with that one.
Rock on. All right. And then the next one up is the Crafting Guild. And let's see. So I'll go over what it has. It has pretty much like every crafting method. Like there's a station for everything.
Hmm.
An invention workbench, cows, gold and silver ore, a tanner, and a deposit box. It's actually pretty loaded. But do you want to open this one up since I did the last one?
So the only thing I can really think of is like a chance to save material, maybe,
Mm.
or something like that, because there isn't like a lot with crafting that's like, or maybe like a maybe is there maybe like a I don't know why, well, like a tanner, like someone that you can pay to tan your
It
hides and stuff in there.
actually, and I didn't know this, but it actually does have a tanner. It
Oh,
does.
okay. Then
Yeah.
I don't know. There's not a lot more for crafting then.
So yeah, honestly, surprisingly enough, the guild is pretty stacked. They did a good job when they went through. They kind of like they like refreshed the crafting guild recently when they did that weird event, the Master Crafter event.
Hmm.
Um, and the crafting guild's pretty stacked. But I think there's a couple. I know people have mentioned this in the past too. Um, During that event, they replaced the deposit box that was in there with a bank chest, and then they reverted it back.
Uh,
Um, so currently it's a, um, I think it's, I don't know which area it is. I think it's Varrock. It might be like Falador or something because I'm kind of drawing a blank exactly where the crafting guild is in the map. But
it's like near like Remington, kind of like
yeah,
south of Falador.
yeah. So it might be part of the Falador achievement diary, but either way, there's a there's a deposit box in the guild that's locked behind an achievement diary task.
Hmm.
So replace it with a bank, get rid of the task requirement, um, and uh, to no one's surprise, give it a portable crafter passive effect at
Yeah,
half strength and call it a
yeah,
day because it actually does have a lot already. There's just no incentive to train there over other locations, especially without an actual bank chest in it.
yeah. That's probably the main thing, just the
Yeah.
bank.
Okay, and the next few are kind of easy. Um, oh god, I'm updating my notes here as I do this, so I kind of remember what I said. Um, the farming guild. Personally, I don't think there's anything wrong with the farming guild.
Yeah, not really. I mean, old school's farming guild is like pretty good though. I don't know how
You're
it.
gonna have to remind me because I don't I have like two farming in old school.
Old School's Farming Guild has like farming contracts, which are unique to the guild, and then it has like a wing with like it has a skilling boss in there as well, and then it also
Oh,
has like a wing with like each tier. So like one is like you need 45 farming to go to, and it has like a bunch of patches, and the next tier you need 65, it has a bunch of patches, and the next wing you need 85 farming to access.
that's cool. Huh. That's really neat. I don't think so. I don't think that exactly would work in RS3, but I like the idea. I like the contracts. I like that a lot.
Yeah, i
It'd be
guess
great
i
to see
guess
something like
like
that.
is the RS3 farming guild just like
It's
the
pretty much
the
just the player-owned farm
the player on farm? Yeah.
with the allotment patch. I guess you can include the allotment patch into that, and the reputation system. I don't.
Yeah, I guess it does have like kind of the contracts with that reputation, and since RS3 is more player owned farm, then it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting to see. So okay, so I guess how do the contracts work in old school? Is it like, hey, I need you to plant one of these here, or something like that?
I think it's like, yeah, like you need to plan a certain amount of um yeah, you need to base there's different tiers, and it'll like give you something it needs you to plant, and then once you finish it you get like a seed pack
It'd be kind of
that
cool
can
to
give you a
implement
bunch of
something.
seeds.
It'd be kind of cool to implement something like that and just kind of make it global, where it's like you go to the guild, kind of like how construction contracts work, where it's like you go to the contractor and they say, hey, yeah, go over here and fix this.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, so the farmer at the Southern Falador farming patch needs your help with something. Go talk to him. And you go over there and they're like, hey, yeah, could you plant me some watermelons or something? Watermelons in this patch and some sweet corn in this patch. And it's like once they're fully grown, the contract's complete, and you just get
Yeah.
enough experience to warrant not planting the most optimal crop, I guess. Because like people would
Yeah.
be like, oh yeah, they tell me to plant potatoes is a waste of experience. I'd rather just plant some snape grass or whatever. It's
Yeah,
like,
they could just do like you could just do like kind of like construction contracts but for farming. Yeah, that's like the only thing I can really think of.
yeah, it'd be neat. I think that'd be a kind of a cool thing to add to the farming guild for sure.
Yeah.
If there was anything to add to it, and of course more Jagex. I need more player-owned farms. Player-owned farm in the desert. When please, thank you. I wanna raise scorpions and
Oh my
scabberites
gosh. Yeah,
and
that would be
camels.
interesting. That would be interesting.
That'd be fun. There's so many desert creatures you could go at, like, going off on a side tangent here with nothing to do with guilds, but I'm like calphites, scorpions, the desert lizards, the camels, there's like so many like things that you can raise in the farms out there. I think it'd be cool.
Yeah,
Just like a
I agree.
little, desert farm, and it's totally not so my desert only Iron Man can train farming, because I promise you there's like no benefit to it at all. I don't really care. I
Yeah.
just think it'd be cool to have a ranch.
Yeah.
Okay, so all right, farming guild's pretty covered. Doesn't need a whole lot, but there's always room for improvement. I think contracts are kind of the way to go. Next one up is the fishing guild, and I surprisingly didn't write down what it already has in it, but what it has in it is like every fish, like
Oh,
just about every fishing spot is there, and then you have the deep sea fishing hub. Personally, I don't think the fishing guild needs anything.
yeah, I was about to say like this is probably one of the best guilds that they have.
Hell yeah. And it's funny too because it's all the new guilds.
Yeah.
All the everything, like, archaeology guild, uh invention guild, coming up, spoilers, as far as I could, invention guild for most parts good. Farming guild, they're all new, and they're like great. There's always a reason to go there. So
Yeah. No, yeah,
obviously
I
Jagex knows how to do this. They just haven't applied it to older guilds.
Yeah, it's probably just because like when the older guilds came out, there was way less depth to the skills, probably.
Yeah. Well, I just
As
mean they
in,
haven't gone back and said, okay,
yeah,
so
yeah,
let's make these worthwhile.
yeah. No, yeah, I think the fishing guild is probably like it has the traveling merchant too that people go there for. So I'd say
Oh
it's
yeah,
pretty much has a ton of stuff.
yeah. So we'll leave it at that. The fishing guild is totally fine. I can't think of anything that it would need. Um, next up is actually the Heroes Guild. This is where I've got. Um, oh no, it's not this one. It's later. Well, we'll talk about it. So what it has is an altar, a shop with a dragon battle axe and dragon mace, a Dracolith mine, blue dragons, giant bats, and the Fountain of Heroes, which recharges dragonstone jewelry. Um, I'll open up with this one.
Okay.
I'd say the only thing, like what it needs that I could think of off the top of my head, because it's kind of hard to work with the Heroes Guild here. Hopefully, maybe you've got some ideas, is to kind of like the Champions Guild, give it a teleport, except allow it to teleport you to every guild in the game, free to play and P2P. So like a step up from the Champions Guild, or yeah, from the Champions Guild.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah,
mean,
it's kind of hard because those guilds are like kind of quest based, so they're
mm-hmm.
not like. And then if you can't really make them like combat based because you have the PVM hub, so it's
Yeah,
kind of like they don't really they don't really have a spot, I guess. You could add small things, but I'm not sure if they'll ever be like somewhere that's high traffic, you know.
yeah, it's especially something like the Champions or Heroes Guild, because you would still have the Legends Guild, which is, if anything, it's just gonna do, and the Max Guild, which are just gonna do that,
Yeah.
but better. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah,
um,
so I think it's kind of tough for that one, honestly.
yeah, it's yeah,
Poor
I
Heroes
can't,
Guild.
it can't. Poor Heroes Guild, pour one out.
Yeah.
I guess off the top of my head is maybe add some more shit to the shop.
Yeah,
So like the
you could do
Champions
that.
Guild has tier 50 gear for all three combat styles. Maybe have the Heroes Guild carry tier 60. It's got the Dragon Battle Axe and D Mace. Give it full Orichalcum. Give it what is a level 60 ranged armor? Uh, Crap.
Red D-Hide.
Is it red?
I
Oh
think
yeah,
it's red.
I think it's red. Yeah, they change the levels around and stuff.
Oh.
Well, yeah, whatever it is, give it level 60 gear, I guess,
Yeah.
and call it a day. I know, Iron Men will appreciate it because I know they use the Champions Guild for that. Lower level Iron Men looking to get their first set of gear, do it that way, and like free to play accounts use the Champions Guild to get gear, especially the PvP community. They usually use the Champions Guild to re-gear, because
Yeah.
you go through Mystic pretty fucking fast in free to
Yeah.
play PvP. I have news. It's actually another side tangent. I know PvP is a hot word in the community, and I can smell the downvotes coming in from here just because I mentioned it. But free to play PvP is actually a lot of fun.
Is
They
it?
don't have all the crazy abilities. There's no curses. There's no ancients magic. It's actually really balanced. Fights don't end in like 6 seconds. It's a lot of fun.
I've never tried it, but
I've gotten into team battles, and it's like it's the closest thing to like old PvP I can think of, just because it feels like you don't have to be an absolute unit at ability stalling and tick manipulation and just, pixel perfect timing to do well in free to play PvP. You could just have a basic understanding of how the combat works and you'll do all right.
yeah.
Um, it's enjoyable. I had a lot of fun. I think we were like, the only reason I even discovered this is me and some friends a while back. We were hunting cursed bots,
Oh,
and
yeah, yeah.
we ran into another group of hunters and we all started fighting, and it was just so fun. Like, everybody gave each other their gear back. We were just talking about it, and, like, yeah, man, that's like, I haven't had a good PvP fight in a while.
Yeah.
I didn't, and they're like, yeah, dude, there's loads of us that do this in free to play. You should definitely, come to free to play more often. That's where all the PvP is. So, fuck, I had no idea. That's because it's more
Yeah, me neither.
balanced. It's just
Yeah.
the lack of content makes it really balanced. It's very It's very distilled and simple, and yeah, I'm gonna have to try it again sometime. But anyway, that's it's tangent.
Add PvP to the Heroes Guild.
Add PvP to the Heroes Guild. Just, you know what? We got rid of the dual
That's the
arena.
fix.
We got rid of the dual arena. Just put like put the dual arena in the Heroes Guild. The whole thing.
Yes.
Okay, where am I? All right, next up, Invention Guild. Personally, I wouldn't do anything to this guild. It's another one that just kind of works.
Yeah, it's got the machines. It's got
It's got a
pretty much
bench.
everything. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't really. I think I was thinking the exact same. I didn't write down anything.
yeah. I just when I was looking at the guild, I was like, what would you even do? Like, invention isn't. You don't train invention. You just train other skills, and invention follows. Like,
Yeah, I feel like they'll never update it either since it's so new. So
yeah, it does what it's supposed to do, and it does it
yeah,
pretty well. Um, so I can't think of anything even remotely applicable to it.
yeah, no, it's like the fishing guild. It's pretty
Yeah,
solid.
it does what it needs to do. All right, moving on then, ripping through these. The Legends Guild. So what it has currently is the totem, which recharges skills necklaces and the combat bracelet. I didn't actually know that. I thought it just did the same thing the Fountain of Heroes did.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
it sells the Legends Cape, which teleports to the guild, Mithril Seeds, and the Shield right half. Um, I'm gonna open up on this one because I came up with what I consider to be a big brain idea here.
okay.
Um, and actually, coming to think about it, it might be overpowered. But in the same vein as the Champions and Heroes Guild, I want to add the ability to teleport to any guild. But if you teleport to a guild from the Legends Guild, it gives you a 1 hour buff that doubles any passive effects that guild offers. So it would double the portable effects that I had been mentioning earlier if they decided to go through with that. So like the half crafting portable crafter would now become a
Hmm.
full portable crafter buff for an hour, just teleporting to that guild from the Legends Guild. Um, and for things like the Farming Guild, you would get double reputation for the guild for an hour, so like double farming reputation
I feel
from
like
checking animals and stuff.
that would just mostly make like people go to the Legends Guild for like a second to teleport to their guild of choice, kind of.
Yeah, that's what I
May
was thinking about too. It kind of just becomes like a little bit of a highway,
and
not
it's
so much a
kind of a little,
destination.
it's a little bit OP. Maybe they could do something like the Champions Guild has like puts out like a voice of, like almost like a voice of Saren or whatever, where it makes one guild like it cycles. So like
Hmm.
one like maybe 1 hour the crafting guild is active, so it has a little buff, so that so people are like, oh, maybe I'll go there and train crafting since it's buffed right now, and like it cycles through them possibly.
Yeah, I I like that. I like that a lot. I think the only thing that I could see being a problem is people like just going like, "Oh god, I got to wait for the crafting hour before I do any crafting because
True,
why
yeah,
would I
it's
waste experience?" And it's like I see that just stressing a lot of people out.
true,
Um
yeah.
like it isn't exactly daily scape, but it kind of hits that same thing. But on the flip side of that, you'd probably also get communities that develop that are, like their whole thing is that they call out the voice of crafting or the voice of guilds or whatever it ends up being called. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's now active at the crafting guild and the ranging guild or whatever. Um, and that'd be kind of neat, but I don't know. Like, I'm a little worried about doing timed things like that because I feel like it pushes like a fear of missing out that people like go, oh god, I gotta drop everything I'm doing right now. Like auras. It's like, okay, well, if you're gonna PVM, you have to do it for an hour, otherwise you're wasting your aura. Like stuff like that. It's
Yeah, I feel like that it's another tough one.
yeah. I mean, I think doubling the passives probably a bit much, but it would be neat if it like if going to a guild from the Legends Guild gave you something. Um because I don't think with the thing with like the champions, heroes, legends guilds is that you're never gonna make them like a permanent hotspot. Not really, not without completely revamping how they work entirely.
Yeah.
Um, but making them a place that people visit real quick before they go do something else is kind of neat, I think. I think it'd be cool to see people running through the Legends Guild, the guards constantly going and, hail, legend approaches, blah, blah. Like,
Yeah.
as people are teleporting and running in and, double surging to the entrance to the portal or whatever and
True.
hauling
Yeah. I
off
could.
to wherever they go to train. Um, it it would be, I think maybe the current number is busted, but I think the concept is sound. It'd probably be one of those things where I consign it to Jagex, like, okay, you guys had the data, you know better than me. Maybe a 10% increase to the
Yeah.
passive effects or something.
Yeah. I could see that as a solid idea to make it usable.
Yeah. Because outside of that, it's like, okay, well, if we want people to actually be in the Legends Guild, like, what do you do? Just put every damn portable in there?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
make it the
it's kind
everything
of
guild?
tough because they kind of have like the PVM hub, so you can't really
Yeah.
for combat you can't really do anything.
Yeah, the PVM hub actually just really throws a wrench in that. Like, as much as I love the PVM hub, like, conceptually, or as much I like what the PVM hub does, conceptually, I hate it because it's it's an all-in-one place for like PVMers to go get ready and run off to a boss. Should have gone somewhere else. It should have gone to a guild. It should have gone to the player-owned house. It should have gone somewhere else. Personally,
Yeah, the player-owned house is where it
yeah, turn the
probably would have.
portal room into a boss portal room. Just make it so you just tune the portal rooms to boss portals instead.
Yeah,
Um, that's an entire different conversation.
yeah,
Is
yeah.
trying to fix that skill, and that might be a conversation we have in the future.
True.
Maybe
Yeah,
a
the
much longer
construction
conversation,
skill
probably.
is yeah,
But the thing is, I'm pretty sure the list of ideas that various Jagex devs have about what they could do to construction is a mile long in terms of like adding this, adding that, fixing this, fixing that.
yeah,
Just no one's been given the green light to actually do it. To say,
yeah,
okay, because at this point, it would just have to be a new skill. You have
yeah.
to,
Probably,
you would just
probably.
have to do the entire skill over again. You couldn't really fix the original construction at this point. I don't think it's possible with with what they say about how bad the spaghetti code is and how it touches things that it touches parts of the game in ways that they don't quite understand. I guess it's the same thing with Monkey Madness too. Um, it's just at this point, just gotta do it over again.
Yeah, yeah,
um, but yeah, that's all right. So conceptually, got an idea for Legends Guild. Numbers might be hella off, and just
yeah,
don't know what else. But so we'll move on. And talking about, we're going from big to bigly. We get the next guild is the Max Guild. I'll cover what it has real quick. It has a Grand Exchange, a bank, a boss portal, skill portals, a bonfire, a decanter, an altar, an obelisk, and the statue of Rhiannon. Or Rhiannon? Rihanna? I don't know. Anyway, what do you think? You're the big gamer here. You're the PVMer. What do
I
you
don't.
think the Max Guild needs?
I don't know if it really needs that much because like it's still the like it's like a teleport that you have unlimited amounts of right next to a GE and bank, which
Mm-hmm.
that alone is like the main reason people use it. And then there's like the bonfire up top that people use, and then I don't think many people use like the boss portal as much as
Mm-hmm.
like the PV because the PVM hub. But then even like the little portals in the entryway, um, those are used sometimes. So I don't really know if there's that much because the like Grand Exchange teleport thing is pretty much the main thing. Maybe a portal to take you to any other guild, but that was kind of the Heroes Guild or the Legends Guild thing.
Yeah. that was so that kind of ties into into what I was gonna say. I think okay, so first off, the only like one utility I would give it is an invention workbench. Just
Oh yeah, true. That
cut your
makes sense.
losses there and shove an invention workbench there. I know a lot of people have been asking for it, and I don't see a reason not to.
Yeah.
Um, because as it stands right now, none of the invention workbenches are all that easy to get to. Like,
Yeah, they are
the
kind of
closest one is
annoying.
the one in Keldegrim of all places. The teleport that the Luck of the Dwarves gives you puts you really close to the invention workbench, but like no one's running off to the invention workbench in Dorgish Khan. Like, it
Yeah.
takes like 20 minutes to get there. Um, and the other ones are just kind of like just far enough away to be annoyingly inconvenient. So yeah, just shoving one in the max guild. I think if you've maxed at that point, you've earned it. You can just teleport right next to an invention workbench. Great. Um, and the other thing I was going to do, at least at the time of writing this, was just give it the same effect as the Legends Guild, except for the buff was 4 hours long instead of an hour long. So it still felt like a logical progression from the Legends Guild.
Hmm.
Um, you'd be refreshing the buff less often, I guess. But you don't need to be maxed to benefit from this.
Yeah.
You just need to be able to get into the Legends Guild to benefit from this. You're just gonna have to refresh it 4 times as often, which felt like kind of a fair trade-off. Yeah, you're maxed. You don't have to do this as often. I mean, you're going for 200 mil or whatever. Fine, 4 hour buff. You can refresh it as many times as you want. Um, uh, Now that we've talked about like the numbers for that portable buff, might have to be tweaked.
Yeah. No, that like just the overall concept though could like apply to all of those.
Yeah, it's like whatever the Legends Guild ends up doing, just make the Max Guild do that in a more convenient sense, I suppose. Because I'm totally fine with the concept of the Max Guild being like the one stop shop for guild related things. It doesn't do that. It doesn't even remotely do that. Um, Personally, I don't like the Max Guild all that much. I think it was
Yeah.
much like the PVM hub. I think it was a terrible idea. But that's kind of my issue with the entire city of Prifdinus. I have an issue with that entire city because it's not really a city. It's just it's just like a hub, a skilling hub,
Yeah.
a go here to train for the best in slot training methods, or at least used to be, because now most of those training methods have thankfully finally been replaced. But when that place came out, it was awful. There was no reason to be anywhere else in the game. The entire rest of the map was empty. The only people out there were losers who didn't have access to Prifdinus yet. It was
Yeah.
awful.
True.
It was awful. But and I think the Max Guild is kind of a relic of that, because obviously Jagex wanted people to come in. They wanted to hype up the content they've been talking about for 11 years, or however it was. Yeah, it was like 11 years at the time. And I don't know. The Max Guild wasn't a great idea, but we got to salvage it somehow.
Yeah. True. I think that's probably the only thing I would add honestly.
Yeah, it's just if they take this approach of adding passive buffs to the guilds, then yeah, allowing the Max Guild to improve those buffs in some
Hmm.
way, I think that would be a surefire way, especially since it has a one-click teleport. Like, you just
Yeah.
teleport to the
Yeah.
Max Guild real quick, go to the freaking Smithing Guild or whatever, and you're good to go for 4 hours. Awesome.
Yep.
All right. So moving on, back to real guilds. The mining slash smithing guild, also known as the Artisan's Workshop. Um, Personally, that stuff's good. I
Yeah, that's another one that's like what else do you really
I
can you
know
really add?
it's got the reputation shop. It's I the only thing I can maybe think of is in vein of how I've been approaching these so far is give it half the effect of the Luminite injectors. So like maybe make it so just like it has the Luminite injector buff constantly, and
Mhm.
popping an Illuminite, or it has half of that, and popping an Luminite injector. God, I can't talk. Doubles it to standard.
Yeah.
So it's like it's in technically what would happen is that nothing would really change. Like Luminite injectors being active now would be the same as Luminite injectors being active before, but when they're not active, you're still getting more for smithing at the artisan's workshop versus smithing anywhere else.
Yeah, I
Uh,
can see that, or just make it more of a place you really want to go, I
yeah,
guess.
yeah, and it also means it would stack with the legends and max guild effects. So
Oh
I
yeah, yeah.
that's like all it's essentially the same as just saying it has a passive portable anvil effect or portable forge, whatever they used to be called.
Yep.
Um, that's all it's really doing. Because it's got the reputation shot there. It sucks that they pulled out all the old mini games there, like the little passive smithing methods, the
Oh
cannon
yeah.
repair and the tracks and stuff like that. They weren't great, but I mean they weren't bad either.
Yeah, it's similar to like the fishing hub, I think. The fishing guild in how it's like set up, I guess.
Yeah, it works. I think it works. I think it works
Yeah.
as is pretty much.
Yeah.
It's a good example of it's a good example of a guild.
Yep.
All right. So the next one, uh, I actually forgot this existed, but it's the Prayer Guild. The monastery in Edgeville is technically a
Oh
guild.
yeah.
Dude, there's
Yeah.
nothing there.
Yeah, not really, no.
So what it has is cabbages, a monk that'll heal you 20% of your life points, a musician, an altar that'll overcharge your prayer by 20 points, somebody who will bless holy symbols, they'll bless spirit shields, and there's like this book, you get this prayer book that you can use that'll get rid of poison. Um, but it's like a static item, like you can't equip it or take it with you or anything useful. It's just there, and it'll get rid of poison. Um, so like the concept is there. It's like the prayer guild is almost a PvP hub. It's like almost a PvP hub. Funnily enough. But I'll let you open with this one. Is there anything you think we could do to the prayer guild?
I mean, you can't really go and add a bank and like gilded altar to it because that kind of just kills every other prayer training method, basically, right? Like you can't make it insanely OP.
You can't make it insanely OP, but I'm not exactly against adding something similar to a gilded altar to it.
You could add you could add maybe like something that gives you like a kind of like how the PVM hub has a little crystal that gives you like refills your prayer. You can maybe have something there that gives you like a prayer renewal effect for like maybe like a lesser version of a prayer renewal, but like for free every
Hmm.
now and again. But
Oh,
I
that'd
don't
be
know how many
cool.
people would actually go there, but
I think that would
people go to
actually,
like Ooglog for like the pools or whatever. So maybe some people would go there.
yeah, no, actually, I kind of like that idea. It'd be pretty neat. I mean, it would take all of 5 minutes before people start going, why is the prayer guild better than PVM hub? Put it in the PVM hub.
True.
No,
Yeah, true.
not everything needs to fucking go in there. Like, no, there is the rest of the map, people. God,
No, put everything in there. I want everything. I want my bank. I want literally everything in the game
I want
in the
everything.
PVM hub right now.
Put a player owned house portal in there. Actually, I just put my house in there. Put the whole house in there. But the whole house, not even a portal,
Why
just
don't
the
I
whole
have
house.
I'd like a player owned boss ring with that I can spawn any boss I want in the PVM hub and kill it.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. It's Jagex. What? This is
We should get
obvious. This
they
should
should
have
get
the
it.
game should have launched with that.
Yep,
What the wow, dude, incompetent.
I agree. I agree.
It hurts. It hurts. It hurts to make those jokes. Um, so I do have some ideas for this. Some of them you did mention. A bank. Give it a bank. Why not? Just, I mean, there's already a
Yeah.
bank in Edgeville. Just give this stupid place a bank. It's not the complete end of the world, but um, allow bones and ashes to be offered at that altar for 200% experience. So it's above an unlit gilded altar, but it's less than a lit gilded altar.
Yeah.
Um, and I think it's less than the wilderness altar. So it's like a nice sweet spot. So for like people who are like, okay, I don't have the construction level for a gilded altar, and I don't like talking to other people, so I'm not going to visit the player-owned house worlds, and I don't want to go to the wilderness, so I'll sacrifice the potential gains and do my prayer here. Like I see it being a good place for like low levels to do prayer,
Yeah,
um,
I can see
getting
that.
those initial levels in instead of just burying bones at the Grand Exchange without knowing any better. Um, and I feel like it's a sweet like niche, and overall, just why not?
Yeah, I
Um,
agree.
I'm looking at everything else it offers you. Maybe, but if there's a bank, then you don't have to worry about the monk that heals you to full because banks do that.
Yeah.
I like your idea of the passive, like a weakened version of prayer renewal.
Yeah.
I think that'd be great.
Maybe just a little something people could go for.
Yeah, I'd say throw it into the altar. So like you just make this altar just like this super altar. You pray at the altar. It fully heals you, fully regenerates your prayer, fully regenerates your summoning points, gives you a passive prayer renewal effect,
Yeah.
or overcharges your prayer points because it does that currently. Maybe bump. Well, nah, you don't need to bump it past +20. They don't. Jagex is kind of stingy when it comes to overcharging prayer, and I don't blame them. But
Yeah.
I feel like that would be a good spot. It kind
Yeah,
of
I
it
think
kind of
so.
like one of the things that I'm like inching towards with the prayer guild is that it kind of feels like it was supposed to be something like a PVM hub, or not PVM, a PvP hub. Um, because you had a monk who would heal your life points, and like I mean that was like kind of outside of going to the bank and grabbing food and eating it to heal. That was pretty much that's it. Like or dying to reset your health. Nowadays, not really the case. But I feel like it'd be a great like place to like for a one click stat reset, so that you can you one click you get all your you reset all your stats, you're back to full. You go to the bank, you grab your PvP gear, and you hop over the and you just hop back over the wilderness wall, and you're back in the wilderness. No big deal. Like a quick refresh between fights.
Yeah.
Maybe give it a damn teleport so people just show up right there instead of having to home teleport to the Edgeville lodestone.
True, yeah. That
Yeah.
that could work.
Oh, you know what? You know what would be kind of neat? Put a uh the wilderness obelisks.
Mhm.
Put one there.
But
Put one in it so you could teleport into the wilderness from the guild.
oh yeah, yeah.
Yes, and so
Like
if you have the wilderness sword, you can pick which one you go to, obviously. So like this could create hotspots in a sense. And even outside of PvP, this is good for people who are doing Bloodwood tree runs, trying to get out to the safes in Rogue's Fortress, Rogue's Castle.
yeah, so it could
Um,
like double as both like a wilderness and
yeah, so like a more less of a PvP hub because yeah, PvP's dead. We've all heard it before, but more of like a wilderness hub. Like this is a place you go to real quick, and then you can get into the it's a quick way to get to the various hotspots in the wilderness because you have access to that um, mysterious obelisk right there. The only mysterious obelisk that is outside of the wilderness.
yeah.
You could even put a lever in there too if you want the wilderness lever that
Oh
takes
yeah,
you.
you could do
Yeah,
that. You could do
put one
that.
in
Yeah.
there too because why not? That'll put you right next to the major arena. So actually, I kind of like that idea. It's a lot. It's a lot more interesting than just a place where poor people can train prayer.
Yeah, true.
um, that kind of works. I don't know. Is there anything else? What you think?
No, I think that's like a good to double as both of those might make it more interesting.
Yeah, and like as much as people go, "Oh, PvP is dead," reclaim the wilderness. PvP does. They need a hub. I feel like a place to all those all five PvPers to centralize in one location
I
and
mean,
kind
people
of
still
like
go to the wilderness anyway, even for
yeah,
not PvP. So
exactly. Um, yeah, wildy worm tasks, bloodwood trees, the chaos altar, there, cursed energy. There's a lot of reasons to go out there and do things, even if you're not looking for a fight.
yeah.
Um, I feel like this kind of helps with that. A quick one hit reset.
Hmm.
Okay, so um, Oh, but I would say that once you're in the wilderness, you cannot use the obelisks to teleport back to the monastery. It's a one-way trip because I feel like that kind of breaks the rules. Like, oh, I'm deep level 50 wilderness, and I click the mysterious obelisk, and I'm gonna use my wilderness sword to teleport me back to the monastery, and I'm safe. No, you still have to teleport down to the level 10 wilderness one and run for your life or whatever. But
Yeah.
um, I don't think, yeah, it should definitely be a one-way trip. It'll put you in the wilderness, but you can't use it to get back out quickly. So I
Yeah.
don't feel like that's fair. All right, moving on. That was a good one. That was good. That was a good one. I
Yeah,
wasn't
that
sure
was
where
an
to go with that
interesting
one.
one.
Yeah. The Ranging Guild. Ranging Guild. This is so our first actual combat guild. Um, I'll cover what it has real quick. It has the archery competition, the human pincushion, the archery ticket shop, and various ranging based shops, and it actually has a hide tanner in it. Oddly
Mm.
enough, makes sense, I guess. There's cows nearby, I think. But anyway, I'll let you open up with this one.
Since range is just like so much different than it was like when that guild came out, like I'm not really sure what would really make sense. Like you kind of think like maybe something to do with like ammo or bolts, like a way
Hmm.
to, but like I'm not really like maybe it's just gonna. I feel like even if you gave it something, it would just be a place people go for like a second to like get a buff and then leave rather than stay in it, you know? Like I'm not
Hmm.
sure what could be done to make people just actually use the guild and not just like go there for a quick second.
That's yeah, and that's always the ticket is getting people to stick around. So I do have some ideas. They're mainly aimed towards lower level people, but bear in mind you only need 40 range to get into this place anyway, so it's like fair because nothing's gonna compete with like just going and doing Slayer, right?
Yeah.
Um, so the first thing, this might actually help everybody, but the archery ticket shop, add Onyx and Hydrix bolt tips to it. Obviously, make the price competitive. Like, we don't want to flood the market with these things, but we could always use more Onyx and Hydrix bolt tips right now. Um, but adding them to the archery shop might be a good way for low levels to incentivize low levels and even some mid levels to sit and grind archery tickets and buy these to either sell them for cash or use them themselves.
You mean
Especially,
you mean incentivize bots to grind archery
oh
tickets?
fuck. Oh, okay. Well, okay. It can't be too busted. It can't be too busted.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like that's always a worry if something's like a super easy activity.
Mmm, that's shit.
Yeah. It's tough for the ranging guild. I don't know.
Hmm.
'Cause like
Let's see. How can
yeah,
you? How can you? Yeah, and
I mean
40
you could
ranged isn't
just
exactly hard for a bot to get. That's like a
yeah,
day's work.
you
Um.
could just you could just I mean you don't have to make it amazing. You could just like update the shops and stuff to maybe be more relevant
Yeah.
for like Iron Man or something, you know.
I still think you could maybe get away with like Hydrix tips, but they'd have to be. Problem is you can't make it too easy to get, and you can't make it too expensive to be not worth it. If it's like, oh, 200, I actually, assuming 200 is a lot of tickets. It's been so long since I've done it. I don't know how
Yeah.
quickly it gives you tickets. But assuming 200 is a lot, it can't be like, oh, 200 tickets. It'll take me an hour just to get a single Hydrix bolt tip. That's ridiculous. But like, I feel like if it's not too crazy, if let's say that if somebody sat there and did the math and it was like 5 mil an hour to farm Hydrix bolt tips, I don't think that'd be busted. I think it'd be great for players who have access to the range guild. Like they're like 40, 50 range, right? Like that's good money. That's awesome. But I don't know if it's really bot farmable. I
Yeah,
don't know if a
true.
bot farm's gonna go for that when they
Yeah.
could just camp corrupted scorpions or whatever the hell else it is bots do. Blood rune runs, I guess. Are bots doing blood rune runs, or is that too complicated for them? I don't even know.
Might be too complicated. I'm not
Yeah.
sure about RS3 bots though.
Yeah, I know everything and anything that is even remotely profitable is botted in old school, but
Yeah,
in RS3, they're a little more picky about it.
yeah,
See, I guess that's something to consider. It could be bottable, but so I didn't even put actual numbers in here because I wasn't sure. It's like
yeah,
I don't know how easy it is for someone to get a hold of, like, say, 1,000 tickets, so I can't even begin to tell you how much the bolt tips should cost to be fair. So I just, Jagex has the numbers, I don't. But that was just one of many suggestions for this place.
yep,
Another thing is a little more obvious. Make the goddamn archery competition competitive experience. Like, currently, if you get a bullseye, which is a bitch, it's 50 experience. Make
yeah,
it
yeah.
make it 250. Like, there you go. It's 5 times more. Like
Maybe it's
a
a
level.
place people go to train like 40 to 50 range or something.
Yeah, make it. Yeah, exactly. Make it worth training for people who are lower level. And if they're also farming archery tickets, make it feel like they're actually making progress instead of having to choose between decent experience or money.
Yeah,
Um, and the human pincushion event thing, which is that whole climb up the tower and you're like you're in a sniper battle with other archers that are in those, like, other towers. I don't know if you remember this.
I think I do. Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't give you tickets. Make it give you tickets. I don't see
Oh
why that
yeah,
shouldn't give you
yeah. It
tickets.
should have something.
Give it a bank and make it like a pseudo fletching guild and give it a half passive of the portable fletcher.
Yeah, I
Why
could.
not?
Yep.
That'll
That,
bring people there.
yeah.
And it's like, outside of actually just making a separate fletching guild, I don't want, like, the fletching. I don't want the fletching portable to be left out of this whole,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
portable buff thing. So
Might as well put it there.
yeah, it makes sense. There's magic trees, yew trees, maple trees. Hell, I think there's even willows all near that location. Yeah, there are. They're all Sears Village has, like, every goddamn tree in the game. And it's all right next to the ranging guild, so it kind of pseudo makes sense from, like, a do-it-yourself perspective that you would want to do fletching there. There's a bank, nearby trees give you the wood you need, yada yada yada. It's not a bad spot to put a fletching buff.
Yep. I agree.
And oh, the normal shops, they sell, like, studded leather or something like that. Give them level 40 ranged armor and weapons.
Yeah, just like upgrading to make the gear more relevant
Yeah, you hit
would
level
work.
40
Yeah.
range, you're like, awesome, I'm gonna get into the range guild, and all they sell you is gear that you were using 20 levels ago, and it's like, okay, thanks. So no,
Yeah.
you put the level 40, maybe even also the level 50 range gear in there, and people who are, Iron Men who are doing shop runs, that they'll add that to their rotation. Cool, I can disassemble the dragon hides, or whatever the hell they do with it. And newcomers who are coming in looking for a quick gear upgrade, they've got a shop that'll do it for them.
Yep.
So this next one's kind of a joke. You don't have to take it seriously at all. I just thought it was really funny because it was technically a guild. It's the Servants Guild in
Oh yeah,
Ardoid.
just the hiring the
Yep,
servant.
that's all
Yeah,
it does.
that's weird. I
Yeah,
guess not really
I
a guild, but
I actually took the time to try to think of something for this, but it was really dumb. Jagex, you don't have to listen to me at all. This is entirely a joke. So what it has is servants. What it needs is to be revamped into an entire construction guild. This is totally outside the scope of a ninja strike at this point. In which case, give it a bank, a sawmill, an estate agent, and a passive workbench buff, I guess. Or the half strength portable workbench buff. Call it a day. Maybe some new servants. I don't know.
yeah,
It would be neat to see it, like, if they gave it some construction functionality, gave it some of the like, sawmill and stuff. Because I mean, like, they did that to Prif Dennis. They threw everything in Prif. So it's like they're not afraid of putting all of the construction pieces in one spot. Um, so yeah, screw it, just do it, just just
Yeah,
do it.
just add construction stuff basically.
Yeah. I think the only reason I wouldn't do that is because it is literally right next to the farming guild. And it's
Yeah,
weird to
that's
have two
true.
guilds that are sharing it, like they're literally next door to each other.
And I don't think many people really think of it as a guild or even know it's a
Yeah.
guild.
Yeah, they go there by their demon butler once if they don't skip straight to the monkey butler, and that's it.
Yeah,
Uh, moving on.
great guild.
Great guild, 10 out of 10, dude. People don't even. It's a hidden
Perfect.
treasure,
It's
hidden
perfect
treasure.
how it is.
So next one up, the rune crafting guild. So personally, I don't think this needs anything. Maybe there's a deposit box. There's a deposit box like on the roof or something like that. Change that into an actual just a bank box for quality of life, maybe. But like, it's got the Viswax machine. It's got the mini game access. It's got like two mini games access. The shops, the reward shops for those. I don't think it needs much.
Yeah, I think there's pretty much enough incentive to go there how
Yeah,
it is.
you go do your Vixvax or however the hell he said to pronounce it.
We swax.
Weeswax. You go do your Weeswax and you're good.
Yeah,
Can't.
I don't think there's much for that. It's like the fishing and
Mm.
invention.
And actually, the next guild, it's very much the same thing for me. The Thieves Guild. That's a great place to train thieving until safe cracking. I
Oh
don't see
yeah,
anything
true.
wrong
I
with it.
remember all of the little stuff. I remember doing. Yeah, I remember doing stuff there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's kind of a
I don't
pain in
know
the
if you
ass to
could.
get to because you have to do the quest. But I like the concept that you built this guild yourself. You kind of help make it, and gives me Elder Scrolls vibes with like helping rebuild the Thieves Guild in like Skyrim and stuff.
Yeah,
So like I'm down with that. It's fine. Like yeah, sure you can. It's not just oh get level X level thieving and now you have the thieving guild. Like now you got to go make the thieving guild.
yeah,
But
yeah,
it gives you access to the best thieving training methods in the game. I don't see anything wrong with it.
yeah. No, I feel like it's. I was thinking the same.
Yeah, we're ripping through these. We've actually only got two left. Um,
Which,
so the next one is the Warriors Guild, another combat
mm,
guild. And so what it has is a bank, food shops, various training methods that are all terrible, and defenders. And I'm gonna let you open this one. What do you think? You think we should do the Warriors Guild?
well, I think the defenders is kind of. I mean, you kind of need. Don't you need to get them anyway if you want the high tier defenders?
Yeah, you do need to
So
get.
you're gonna have to go there anyway as a like even if you're a high level player and you don't have your defenders from before and you want the better ones, you're gonna have to go there. Maybe make it so it's less annoying to do like the mini like maybe add some different ways of getting the little tokens possibly that give better XP.
Yeah, yeah, and that's and I pretty much said the same thing. What I've got written here is to increase the experience rewards for all of the training methods to be competitive for people around level 65 attack, strength, and defense. Um, because they suck. The training methods suck. Like I mean, yes, you're mainly just like you're not really thinking about training. You're there to get the tokens, but why the hell shouldn't you be thinking about training while you're there? That's kind of the point. They've got like the defense focus minigame, an attack focus minigame, a strength focus minigame. Um, why shouldn't those be like good experience for somebody with level
Yeah, I
65
mean they probably
melees?
were good experience back how
I
many
don't
years ago,
I
maybe?
don't think so. No, I remember going into the guild when it was first added and it wasn't that great.
Yeah, so maybe they just maybe you just up like keep everything the same, but just make the experience a bit better. So when people
Yeah.
do the mini games, they get more XP.
Yeah,
I would say.
make it feel worth it. Make it, like I think you go in, you're brand new. So you've got like a 65 attack, 65 strength, and like 60 defense or something, right? So you're like literally the minimum entry level to get into this guild. I feel like if you go in and you're like, okay, I'm not leaving until I get a dragon defender, I feel like you should be leaving with like base 70 melee combats if you were trading them all evenly while you were working on your on your dragon defender. I feel like that's fair because you have
Yeah.
your dragon defender now, and you can immediately go to Barrows and try to get the corrupted one. Because and have the level to use it when you get it. I feel like that's how much experience you should be getting from that.
Yeah.
I feel like it's not crazy busted. You could probably get those levels faster if you were doing something else, but you also got a defender out of it, so you were multitasking.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that's the main thing they should do.
Oh, oh, and one other thing. There's a shop in there that's I put down Anton's shop. I don't remember what else he sells. I don't think it's much. Put black knives in his damn shop so people can sell them or buy them because the I don't know if you recall, but the Cyclopses drop black knives like they're like water.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Um, it's nuts. So a method to like an NPC that'll buy them off of you, and an NPC for people who just have too many, and he also doubles as an NPC who will sell them for people who want them for whatever reason but don't want to go kill Cyclopses for them. Cool, great, awesome. Also, I guess throwing knives are good for Swift components. Is it Swift or is it something else?
I think it's Swift.
Yeah, I think it's Swift, but yeah, it helps. It helps shop runners, I guess. Gives them a few extra stops if they need to. But yeah, I think that's about all I could think of for the Warriors Guild.
Yeah.
Just make it worth training there.
Yeah.
And we're down to the last one. It's been a wild ride, but we
The
have
last guild.
the last guild, and I hate this one. I hate it. It's so weird. It's the Wizards Guild, and yeah, what it has. What it has, not too bad actually. Mystic robes, a rune shop, a staff shop. It teleports to the all the towers in the game, so the Wizard's Tower, the Dark Wizard's Tower, and the Sorcerer's Tower, and it has some zombies trapped in cages.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a weird spot. I didn't put down much because with this guild I was conflicted. I was a little confused.
Mm-hmm.
The all I could think of really was giving it Griffolic robes, so the tier 60 mage robes, because you need 66 magic to get in, or something like that.
Yep.
So like 66 magic to get access to Mystic isn't worth it. It was back then, but it's not now. So give it Griffolic robes, and maybe put cosmic runes or maybe combination runes in the shop. I don't think there's anybody that sells combo runes.
Maybe.
And it's like at that point I'm like afraid of like, okay, what else? Like I don't know what else to put in there.
I was gonna say you could add like a spot to change spell books, so to like change to lunars, change to ancients if
Oh
you have them
yeah,
unlocked. So like it's like the magic cape, but if you don't have the magic cape.
yeah. No, that's a great idea, and it's also really close to a bank.
Yeah.
Because you have Yanil's bank right there, so I feel like that's actually not a bad idea.
That, and then you could add like maybe some like teleports possibly to some other places since it's like the magic guild, but other than that, I
Yeah,
think
so like it teleports you to the three towers, which is
yeah.
neat. I actually didn't know it did that. But those outside of like the Wizard's Tower, there isn't like what the hell is at the Dark Wizard's Tower?
Yeah.
Jack shit, nothing. What's at the Sorcerer's Tower? Nothing. I feel like you could add more teleports to it. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where. Maybe to various rune shops in the game. Maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, take it to like taking you to Aubrey in Varrock, a couple other places. I don't do shop runs like that, so I'm not the expert when it comes to like, oh, it needs to take me here, 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 and here. It would make my daily run so much easier. But I feel like that would be not a bad idea. It would definitely make having 66 magic a good quality of life improvement for a player because it's like, okay, just teleport to Yanil and I can get around from there.
Yep.
I think the
No,
only problem is that it's kind of a pain in the ass to get to Yanil over and over without Weeswax and quick teleports.
true. Yeah.
But his guild ain't meant to solve everything.
Yeah, true. Could add a few things though, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, you could add a teleport to it. I mean, I wouldn't. Oh well, duh. If they decide to take this entire list, then people could be using the any of the quest based guilds to get to the Wizards Guild really quickly.
Yep.
So it's like Legends or just Max Guild teleport to the Wizards Guild to the rune shops would probably be faster than teleporting to like Varrock and running to the rune shop.
Yeah.
Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. It depends on how good you are with your bladed dives. But no, I don't think that's a bad idea. I think that helps out a little bit. I was thinking about trying like, okay, well, what can we do with like the cage zombies? But honestly, I've got nothing. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
oh, increase the amount of experience it gives you. No, not really worth it. Like, I don't know. I guess
Yeah.
you
You can't
could.
really
The thing
do
is,
that
like,
much.
you can't do anything to it because if people want to train magic super effectively, they don't safe spot
Yeah.
anymore. They actually want things to hit them so they can just AFK the aggro.
Yeah.
Like you'd be better off just going to Dagonoths if you can,
Yeah.
if you can survive Dagonoths. Um, so it's a hard pick. It's definitely a dated location. I think adding the combination runes to the shop would be pretty dope. Nothing sells combination runes. I know I've been seeing people like on Reddit and stuff talking about how we need more sources for water runes and stuff like that. But people were also mentioning like it'd be great if we had sources of mist runes, because that would just that would free up a lot of space because there's still water runes, but
Yeah.
you need the mix, the water and air runes. So that could be if they sell a lot of them, that could be a good source of mist runes for people. Yeah, that's about all I got.
Yeah. I can't really think of much other than the thing I mentioned.
Yeah, no, I liked your idea too. It's really nice.
I think that's the only way to change your spell book other than going to the actual
Uh,
altar itself. So just the magic cape is the only other way.
the magic cape, the ancients and lunar altars, and then there's an altar in Prifdinus that'll change. Or no, it changes your prayers. I don't know if it changes your spell
Oh
dice.
yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it does both. I think it does both.
it
But
might.
regardless, having
That there would be.
having that there, it's not going to take away from Prif because Prif is just a more easily accessible version of the same damn thing, and it makes sense.
Yeah.
You got to do Plague's End to get there. Yeah, no. So I think adding a spellbook swap there would be great. That alone would be a huge quality of life improvement on the guild without having to really do anything else. But if you do that and
Yeah.
update the rune shops, like increase like maybe the stock of the runes and add a couple extra runes that people have been needing a lot of now, like you might even be able to say put soul runes in there. I haven't been keeping up lately on the status of soul runes. I know that they were in high demand for a while, but then is it Croesus that drops them like candy? I think it's Croesus.
It might be. It's. I think Carapac drops soul runes too.
Yeah, because I know they started making things drop a lot of soul runes. So
Yeah,
adding a soul rune shop probably wouldn't be the end of the
wouldn't
world.
do that much. Yeah.
Unless they're already in that damn shop and I don't remember. I just put down cosmics because I guess for whatever reason cosmic runes aren't in the shop.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about all I can think of.
Yeah. That's pretty much all I had down.
Yeah. Well, that covers all the guilds. Is there anything you
There's
think
a
we missed?
I don't think so. There's a lot more guilds than I thought, honestly.
Yeah, I remember having
Some
that
of
thought
some
too.
of the ones are like I thought there was like maybe like 8 or something. Like
Yeah.
there's a bunch that I just totally forgot about that counted as guilds.
Yeah, I had the same thought, and I was like, all right, let's look up guilds on the wiki. And I'm looking at the list, and I'm going, the monastery?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's like, oh crap, that's right, that is a guild. That's a guild. Like, and then the Legends Guild and all that shit came up, and I was like, oh no, I have to think of shit for that.
yeah,
Um, but no, they're a big part of the game. They're just a big dead part of the game.
yeah. They could add a few little things to each to make them a little more usable.
Yeah. All right, you ready for next time when we cover mini games? Just kidding.
Oh God.
No, dude. That's like a 4 hour conversation, and we probably wouldn't even get through them all.
Yeah, that
So
is. Oh my
many.
gosh.
There's so many that I would say just straight up delete this minigame. It doesn't need to be here
Yeah,
anymore. Give its rewards to a different minigame, like Heist.
true.
I hate Heist. But uh yeah, that's Oi. That was a joke, guys. I'm not gonna. Maybe we'll do that sometime. I don't know. It depends on how Nuzz is feeling. It depends on how everything goes. But
Depends if you're ready for a 12-hour.
I know
12
people
hour.
are into that, dude. I know people are into it. Some people will sit there and listen to crazy people like us talk for 8 to 10 hours
Oh my
about the
gosh.
state of the game. Um, I just thought it would be a great idea to just like kind of put together like a comprehensive kind of list of like, just a discussion between two people who were I'd argue to say very familiar with the game.
Yeah.
Um, and what we could do, what could be done, and what simpler fixes could be applied to make older content at least somewhat relevant. Maybe not relevant to everybody, but at least relevant to a decent portion of the player base.
Yeah.
So it doesn't feel like, why is this here? I don't understand its purpose. You know.
Yeah. Exactly.
I think we tackled that. I think some of these
We got
fixes are pretty awesome. Some of them are meh.
Yeah, there's
um,
not a lot you could do for all of them, but
yeah, there's no saving the Servants Guild.
no.
It's doomed to fail from the get go. Uh, but yeah, I don't really have any closing thoughts. Um,
No.
you got anything else you want to say?
Not really. Just thanks for having me on the Kathaar special podcast.
Yeah, whatever the hell this was, this
Whatever.
just
What, yeah.
spontaneous oddball just hit you up randomly. Hey man, you want to talk about guilds? And you're like, fuck yeah, let's go.
Yep.
And then
Yep.
3 months later, we actually sit down and do it.
Yep.
Oh man, but yeah, I might do more of these in the future. I have no idea. The subject matter has to make sense, and I gotta feel like there's enough to talk about. And of course, I
Yeah.
have to have somebody who actually wants to sit and talk about it. It could be you, it could be somebody else. Uh, it could be several people. I have no idea. Um, I just gotta feel like the person has to kind of know what they're talking about,
Yeah.
and I feel like you definitely know what you're talking about. I kind of know what I'm talking about. I'm an idiot,
Yeah.
but I feel like I know what I'm talking. I pretend. I
I
do
think I think we
really good.
came up with some good ideas.
Yeah, but yeah, enough dilly dallying. Thank you all so much for watching slash listening to this conversation. I hope Jagex even notes down, if Jagex even took a note on one of these things, I'd be more than happy. But it's not always all about complete reworks and super remasters and building things up from the ground, rebuilding things from the ground up. Sometimes small changes can do a lot for content. We've seen it in the past, and I'd love to see that same thing applied to guilds. Thank you all again so much for watching, and we'll see you all next time.
See ya.
Bye bye.